All right. So we got some stuff. Did another little Facebook Marketplace score, just a bunch of random parts for $100. But I got there, and it was missing some of the stuff, and they had a bunch of pumps in the picture, and they just picked them up and took them back to the garage for some reason. Not saying anything about it. So, and I looked, and I figured there was a lot of recycling. I told them that. I ended up taking about half of the stuff that was clearly junk on top and throwing the recycling. They wanted to keep the tubs there in, so we had to transfer it to this cardboard box. So instead of throwing trash in here, I tried to separate most of it out into their recycling bin. But I haven't really looked at it too closely yet, so I figured we'll do another unboxing video. Let's start off with a little box, because I didn't look at it at all. I feel like it might be really exciting. So it looks like some 90s specialized stay, like chrome sticker, little chain stay dudes. So that's actually kind of cool and exciting, little chain slap guards. Put that right into my bin of stuff. That's my to get cleaned bin. This is my straight to eBay bin. And I got a trash bin on the ground. Ooh, a Bikes to Aloft rubber bike cradle. Guess I'll go straight to eBay. I don't even know what it is. Some other... Oh, this one's got a label on it. 10/17/07. The 6 looks like my handwriting, which is hilarious. Yakima product. Something for some Yakima bike rack. More Yakima bike rack straps. Some fuzzy helmety pad things. This is... I'm more excited about the Ziploc bag to reuse it for parts than about that. So no one cares about some old helmet pad. So I'm going to toss these. They are nothing. I'm going to save this bag. A lot of missing and broken reflector bits. No one cares about this. You can't sell it. Customers don't want it on their bike. People mostly want to take it off and throw it away. There's really no point in saving it. I try and save this stuff sometimes, but it never ever goes anywhere. Here's part of a little cycle wear mirror thing. Looks like it's missing some attachments and things. We'll save it in case they pop up. It looks like some new old stock Cool Stop, I'm going to say rubber rim liners? Rim guard. Huh, it's funny. A lot of this stuff has really low ball prices on it. I wonder if they tried to sell it before at a bike swap meet, or they used to own a shop, or just had a sale. A lot of people just buy estates, you know, and sell all the stuff. Some really old performance patches. I have no idea if they're still good. I'm assuming. Why wouldn't they be? I guess I'll just throw them into my junk. Here's a hard rubber block. No idea, right in the trash. Some campy headset bearings. Look, maybe new old stock in the little package. Right to eBay. Some black twine. I don't know. Maybe just in Rivendell's back in the day, some twine in. Couple of rubber shims. Yeah, I guess I'll save it. A little Tupperware with random trash in it. Some hair berets and a hollow needle and some screws. It is all trash. Ooh, here's an empty box for what appears to be a new old stock chain. Let's investigate. Oh, there's a little bit of chain left in here. It's kind of sad. Everest. Caliente Alta Series. Racing Milano. Let's get retailed for $9.50, which ought to be about $20 in today's money, but probably about $70 or $80 in today's money because modern chain manufacturers are insane. Let's set this aside just in case. Cool little Vans box. Ship some eBay junk in. Okay, that's a little Tupperware. I did see some of this. So there's some stuff in here, like some brand new MKS toe cages for $20, which is about regular retail, so maybe these aren't that old. So that's cool. So one set of decent looking brake levers, and they are really early Shimano Dura Ace with some older Diacomp hoods. With all the hardware and stuff. I mean, pretty awesome. Here's a single Hayes, probably mechanical disc brake or V-brake lever. It's got all the hardware and bits. It's fairly clean and nice. Maybe there's a match. Here's a Tiagra Road Triple, probably 9-speed, 34.9s, missing the bolts, but I'm sure I have some bolts lying around that are all the right things, are right enough. Because it does not destroy. That inner cage has some pretty heavy wear. People like to ride with their chain just grinding their derailleur. Yeah, I'm going to say that's too worn down to care about. Maybe I'll steal this little pinch bolt and special washer, because there's a lot of vintage stuff that has kind of similar pinch bolts and washers, and they're always you know, rusty. Single Diacomp missing the chicken lever and all the hardware. That's recycling. Here's a cheesy old, really mangled fake Diacomp brake. Totally mangled. Recycling. A single Cycle Pro toe cage. It's pretty bad shape. Let's see if there's a match. A Dior LX. 9-speed derailleur, like a 93 or so. So this is going like to get cleaned bin. Lock bracket. They had 5 or 6 locks, but no keys. So they looked everywhere, couldn't find any keys, and it's like, oh, alright. Some really cheapy U-brakey junk. Not really worth saving. I'll save the barrel adjuster because I'm obsessed with barrel adjusters. Here is a Forte Team adjustable canty or non-canty brake. Let's got all the parts. Sweet $15 price tag for reasons. This is kind of cool. So here's like a cool, probably ITM stem or something from Italy that they pulled apart and powder coated, and then realized it wouldn't fit in the bike because stems need to actually be just under 22 millimeters, so they had to file through all this powder. But you know, it's kind of cool other than that. Might be able to clean it up a little bit better. I mean, they really ground out the power tool. We'll hand buff it with some memory cloth and maybe make it work on something. It's greeny and powder coated. I don't know. Here's almost something cool. A Dior XT 8-speed single brake lever. That's one that had the shifter built in, and the shifter's all missing and gone. But, I mean, technically, I think it's a little ugly and hacky, but technically you can take a hacksaw, just hacksaw off the shifter bit. We can do a little filing and sanding and make this a decent lever. So I guess that's going into my to deal with later pile. Really cheapy V-brake. Not worth keeping. Looks like part of a old car's wing window. Probably not worth keeping. I'll never guess what it's from. Some plumbing parts. Here's a cool thing, an old Sagino chainring bolt wrench. So I love tools. I love old tools, and I get rid of all mine. Regret it. Ooh, there's some more tools in here. I didn't see any of this stuff. Oh, here's a little old VAR crank bolt wrench. Never seen a VAR one before. That's cool. Some like SPD pedal cleat plates, a little screw side that goes on the inside of your shoe for your cleats to screw up and in and through. That's cool. Here is part of a 9-speed bar end shifter. It's missing a little bolt, and I think there's like a little washery thing that goes in the back. The nice thing about bar end shifters is even though you find them all apart, most of the parts are sort of sealed in here, so you're not going to lose all the little hardware and all the little order. So they're not totally dead. You might find all the parts, be able to bolt it together, it might be totally cool. And it is a compatible rear derailleur 7700 9-speed or 7400 8-speed. So this is a Dura Ace bar end shifter. Exactly what I was looking for. I'm dealing with the Dura Ace group. And I'm thinking about doing like a 1x9 with a little thummy, and it's the 8-speed, so you need their 9-speed shifter because they have a weird cable pull. Another weird knobby thing. I think this is the other one of these CycloPro toe cages, so even though I cannot sell any toe cages on the internets, no one will buy them. I'm going to save it. It's another really cheap U-brake. It's not worth saving parts off of. Profile, design, bar end. Might save it if we find the other one. Here's a Cane Creek cross top lever, missing the screw, 31/8. It's in really good shape. I might find the screw in here or somewhere. I'm going to save it. Oh, and here's the rest of that bar end pod. So it's a single right side pod. Oh, it's got the little shift boss, and it's got the 2 flat shift plates in it. So I think that's 90% of what we need for this Duray shifter. Cheap Shimano black, like mountain bike 135 rear quick release. I'm going to save that for my own collection. I saved a dead hub in here for the same reason, so I can make a dummy axle for shipping a bike so the frame box doesn't get pinched, won't crush the rear end. I'll have an axle and a skewer in there. Another super cheap V-brake. Another set of Campy bearings. You can see this is pretty cool. Ugh. Little Campy logo, a couple headset bearings. These used to sell on eBay for a lot, or enough to list them. Found a single black Shimano 600 crank arm that I'm sure someone to spray paint black. I doubt the match is in here. We'll set it aside just in case. Another single bar end in silver with a Chinelli plug. Set it aside just in case. Another really crappy kickstand. I got plenty of those. Some generic little wrench. More tools. Another Sagino chainring bolt tool. Very cool. Another Sagino bottom bracket wrench tool. It's great. I have a zillion of them, but super awesome. Ooh. A vintage Campagnolo chainring bolt tool. A little Campy logo on it. All 2 prongs. Ooh. It's got a little glass cutter key. Never cut glass, that'd be fun. A cheap Trek seat post binder bolt thing with bad chrome. I cannot see the reason to keep that. Ooh. It's a super light stem bolt and wedge. Maybe it's aluminum or tie or something cool. It's frozen on there, so it's probably tie. Really old Weeman straddle cable hanger, but no rust or corrosions. Nice. Another car part. A single axle with no cups. Drowning that from the last auction. Bearing surfaces look good. It says Sagino, strong. It's cool. I'll put it in my other axles. Maybe I'll use it someday. I mean, you don't need to buy sealed cartridge bottom brackets. You can use old bottom brackets. There's nothing wrong with them. A couple more of these weird knobs. Another little junky tool for something I'll never know what or ever use, so I'm not going to save it. Cool. AID or something cone wrench. Double-sided, 14, and something smaller. The price tag's hiding the stamping. I think this is a Campy. Yeah, Brev Campy. Little Allen wrench with a little button on it for twisting and holding and stuff. These are cool. I've never had one. Pump heads, missing all the parts. Another small stem wedge. Grabbed a generic chuck key for like drill presses and stuff. Some more rubber shims. I got so many rubber shims. Most of these are rock hard or terrible. In the trash. This is like a battery tie down some cut off for a car. I think this is like the weird U-brake bolt. Patent pending. Grand Comp little brake thing. A guy asked me the other day what these are for. I'd never seen them before. And these go on your brake pads, so when the mechanic slaps your wheel up in the frame, it can bounce off these things. They're like guides. So you can just slap the wheel up as hard as you can and quick release it on and tell it to go right to hell. There's a couple of nice little bits of hardware in here. Some vintagey bike, round chrome head, dome things. That is the end of this box. Maybe I'll put this tools in it because the tools are cool. Got something I love, vintage Boulder, Colorado handlebar bag. It is very stinky. It's cool. You put it up over your quill stem and it rests under your bars and over your stem. It sort of dangles there. It smells really, really bad. If I wash it, it'll probably decay, which is a shame. Oh, this thing smells so bad. Maybe I'll try hand washing it in the shower. It'd be fun to use. They're super cool. Slides right off, so you can bring your bag with you and leave this weird thing on your bike. It's really weird one I've never seen before, so it's fun. A RockShox red piece of plastic and a sticker. Maybe someone will care anyway. A single Kirkland Tour Pack Boulder, Colorado stinky old moldy garage bag. It velcros up under your seat or something. It's a little touring bag. It'll probably die in the washer. Got a bunch of bike light clamp mounts. I think there's one light in here, so I saved all the clamp mounts I came across just in case. Another tool, Binks. I have no idea what this is for. It means for bikey. Cheap generic black stem bone traeger. But it's super short and super positive rise, and people like that. If it was at the shop, someone would buy it for sure and make their bike fit a little better. We'll wipe it off and clean it. Okay, here's something I did see when I was loading this box. A couple of Regina Extra chains. They appear to be new old stock in the bag. Got a price tag of $26 on them. Originally $13.50. These are probably worth $50 or $60 if they're actually new old stock and have all the stuff. Maybe I'll save them for myself like a psycho. Here's a Cannondale little bike bag. It's like a weird seat posty clamp and a weird rail clamp. It's very bizarre. But you know, it says Cannondale on it, and people have Cannondales and think they're cool. There's still a lot more junk in here, but we found some of the really fun stuff. So I saw this when I was loading it. This was the cream of the crop. This is what made my $40 worth it. So a pile of chain rings here, and another pile here. And I want to take a look and see what we got. So we got an old Regina Oro freewheel. Their Oros might have been their good one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and it's got kind of like the sax teeth. And the wear looks kind of minimal. So this might be a really nice little old freewheel. Maybe someone will care. It's in this bag with these two rings. Let's find out why. So this is a Campagnolo 49 tooth, but looks 3/32, so it's great for weird road double, or great as a 3/32 single speed ring. This is a Campagnolo 52 tooth ring, so that's great. 52/49, there's some horrible gearing. I've ridden bikes like that, small bikes with just giant, terrible gears. Usually like a 54 or 56 or something ridiculous. So that's hot. They're old campy, so they're 144 BCD. So great for old track cranks and old cranks you want to make look like track cranks. Then, this other whole pile of rings. I got my little BCD checker. So this is a really cute little ring. It's labeled 42. It's got a little C on it for Campagnolo. This is kind of like the match to that big 52. And so this is probably 144 BCD. Yep, 144 BCD 42. This is great. Looks like it's also 3/32. Am I crazy? Maybe. This is great because I have a couple sets of Shigino cranks I want to use on some single speeds, but buying 144 rings is kind of expensive. So having a whole bunch to choose from is wonderful. Here's another ring, a little thicker, a little nicer, generic 42, no label. Ooh, it's something smaller. Chainring checker says it's 128. So probably some weird French stuff. This also looks a little thicker. Maybe it's 1 1/8. Here's another generic weirdie. And it's even smaller. And it's saying it's like 122. I just saw a Sharpie in here. I wonder if it works. It's not 20 years old. I'll label some of these dudes. Oh, it says strong light right on it. Cool. Nope, Sharpie's dead. This guy's kind of cool. It looks modern. Maybe it's vintage. It's just like super drillium. And I think these bigger holes are the actual, chainring bolts recessed on this side. Let's see what this bad boy is. This says 42J. Whatever forever, man. It's 144 BCD, and 42, and J, and drillium. This would be a cool ring for a single speedy. It also might be 1/8 inch. Sometimes I just can't tell. I think it's 3/32. But there's also a couple of nice old TA rings in here. So TA Pro 5 Vis, my favorite chain rings that I use on all my rando bikes and a lot of our customer builds and cool stuff. So I made every single tooth size, odd and even, all the way up from the tiniest to the biggest. So this is like a middle 36. It could also be an outer, really, or an inner for like the small. But it's probably middle, and this is an outer 48. So that's pretty cool. You can do your 48, 36. You can do like a 26 or a 24 or whatever. But these Pro 5 V's rings are worth dough, and they look immaculate. Like, probably new old stock. Like, I see no wear marks, chain marks, actual road grime. So that's worth more than what I paid for this whole lot. It's another weird little ring. It just says 31. And it is coming up with a BCD that is not listed on this old BCD checker. Something smaller than 100, bigger than 95. These old TA rings are 50.4. It's just the way they came. But just in case you're not super familiar with this, the BCD checker has a bunch of chainring bolt diameters on it. A little guide on the back about them. This is an old vintage one that has a bunch of old vintage sizes you can't get anymore. The new one just has more modern sizes. So if you only work on new bikes, you only need the new one. If you work on old bikes, you need both. And these old ones, they do not make. They're hard to come by. I was real lucky to find this. This is the first one I found in 7 or 8 years. I got it like last year. See bolts on. This one reads a little funky. It reads like the number right above it. So it's like almost 120, or maybe something between 120 and 122. But it has all the weird little sizes vintage rings made that you can't get anywhere. Oh, it's even got 50.4 on it for TA. That's adorable. I've never noticed that before. Let's check it out. Hee hee hee. 50.4. You can see it up there. And it's got these two little hookies. You just hook them into the chainring bolt size. Very cool. Got this from a bike shop that's out of business, and I went and bought some of his tools and stuff. We got half, really like a third of an old, very complicated Blackburn rack. Some might want that on eBay, some might damage theirs. Just one parts. Big rubber pannier thing with some hooks. I didn't see anything that would work with this, so into trash. Not worth dealing with. Another single left Truative crank with a Crank Bros pedal. I mean, really, that Crank Bros pedal might be worth a few bucks to somebody. Sometimes you pay crazy money for old pedals. Ooh, here's the match to the Cane Creek. And it's got the actual bolt in it. So now I just need to look for a bolt like that or find 2 matchy similar ones. And I'll have a nice set of cross-top levers. I have like 5 or 6 sets of these for sale on eBay, and no one cares. Cross-top is out. This appears to be, that's why I saved it, a cheesy suspension post, but it appears to be new old stock. And it's 27.2, which is a really common hybrid size. It's got a price tag of $26.50. I might get that for it. Otherwise, I usually throw these things away. They're a lot of trouble. Generic, crappy bone Traeger hub. with weird spoke pattern for paired spokes. I decided to save it just for the axle. I'm going to pull the axle out and use it for shipping a bike. Here's a old Suntour 7, kind of crappy beat up derailleur for cheapy bikes, but it's all together and it's all there and the pulleys are fine, and it's missing the pinch bolt and the barrel adjuster's all stripped. I think I'm actually going to call this recycling. Yeah, I don't care at all. Wah wah. A toe strap that's already been broken. Recycling. A single bottom bracket in the package. Doesn't really look used. It looks maybe new or not mangled or damaged. So let's open it up to take a closer look. Mountain GI, do not disassemble. I'll get a part number on it or something. Another quill wedge and little top cap thing that I have a million of and don't need to save for any reason at all. And I'm not gonna. Another tool, a little chisel. I love these little chisels for taking crown races off and hitting other random fun things. A generic, but it looks new, old stock, super cheap brake cable and housing with a mushroom ferrule. Saving water bottle cages. I don't know why no one wants used old water bottle cages. But here we are. Alright, what else we got in here? I'm assuming a plumbing part. Another shifter. Maybe it matches that other Shimano Enduro Ace one. See if we can find the rest of the parts. Ooh, a bag of weirdness. Open bag of weirdness. So here is an axle with no labels at all, but it has nice little cones and knurled ends and some good shape and 3 little lines. It kind of reminds me of early Shimano stuff. Noise brakes. I think it's some sort of really weird earplugs. Anybody want some used vintage sticky rubbery earplugs? I know I don't. Monkey grip. Sort of vintage tire boot. With stickies not working anymore, so that mean nothing to me, man. A tire valve adapter for things and a couple of more weird little keys. For drill presses or whatever. Alright. In with the tools, man. Really crappy giant seat with a really scuffed up seat post. Why did I save it? I don't know. It's Calloy, it's heavy, it's cheap. It's probably a size I already have 3 of and I don't like. I'm just going to throw it away. I shouldn't even brought it. Here's a kind of ugly cheap kid's seat, but I think it's alright. It's a little more squishy. It might work on a friend's bike, so I was going to save this. A bell bike pump missing, or is that just an adapter in it? Or is that missing parts? It's broken, it's junk. Another cheap, like BMX-y seat. Shoal. VXW. It's probably garbage kids bike stuff. 28.6, oversized and weird little saddle. I'm gonna try and sell it, just in case someone thinks that's cool on the internet. Another saddle clamp with extra parts. It's all rusty, and I have a bunch that are nice. I don't care. Newbie. Weird little hooks and a Velcro. Don't care. A Gary Fisher branded old light. It's kind of melted and disgusting. It's going in the trash. Another weird tool. Looks like it's missing some parts, but it's got some sockets built in. Probably for a rack or something. All big and weird and unlabeled. I'm just going to recycle it. Another bar end pod part. But older. Stelia Italia, cheap comfort saddle. This might look good on my friend's bike too. We're gonna save it. A very, very vintage, like Schrader valve cap. It's got a Schrader valve removal tool in it. That's super cool. It's all brass and old. Also saved this. It's another big giant gel seat with the Springer, and I basically saved it for that bolt and maybe this head clamp parts. And because the saddle's in good shape, I might go on my friend Lindsay's old Schwinn too. We give her some options. I took some over for the garage sale, and people started buying them. Hey, the matching Clampion bar end. Coolness. One old weird leather saddle. It's a belt brand. Fujata something or other Tokyo. Okay, so like a Japanese version of a Brooks. Looks like it's adjustable. It's kind of old and cool. It's a little scuffy on the sides, but like it's got some sort of reinforcement. I could proofread this or something and put it on something, or maybe they'll put it on the internet. Maybe it's valuable to some old Japanese collectors, and maybe they'll care. So yeah, so much random junk. Here's one PDW light, which may or may not work. I may or may not have the clamp for. One weird old tool handle for like a 1/4 inch square drive. No idea what this is or why. I'm not going to save it. It's not worth the time. This looks like the PDW light clamp. Hey, half the battle. All I gotta do is put new batteries in and see if it actually works. Some generic hardware that's not for bikes. Not gonna keep. Single front quick release skewers. Another old Maillard. I have a few of these I'm trying to sell on eBay, but no one cares anymore. Here is part of that Blackburn rack, but we're missing the other side. I think they had more stuff and just mixed it all up and didn't know or cared. I don't think I'm going to bother saving these other generic light mounts. And I got the one I need. I got a few extras. I don't want to shop anymore. No one's coming and looking for them. Another crappy rear metal quick release. Saver parts. Why can't I stop saving junk I don't need? How cool, Sagino, like white toe strap. Another generic tool, I don't know what it's for. Probably never use. For the Yakima rack. I'm not falling in that trap. A single red pedal. Cycling. Part of a quick release something or other for a bag. I never found the bag. No point in saving that. Oh my god, a whole bag of little rubber shims. I should not save the, but I'm going to. I have so many, I'm not saving them. I never use them. Another crappy generic black quick release, I'll save for the springs or shipping an axle. I just have too many and I shouldn't be saving them. Another like modern-y style bone trigger, like probably 31/8 seat post clamp. Cool. Not cool. A single Campagnolo hood. This would be cool if there was a pair. I was really hoping there was. Parts, reflector, another light mount. There is one set. I kept bouncing around, but it's, yeah, one matching set of the little down tube shift stop bosses. I love these for converting old down tube bikes into, like, you know, thummies or brifters or whatever. Usually thummies. That's nice. I mean, these are $20 new. A single brake pad with a replaceable holder. I was hoping we'd find a few, but only one. Yeah, whoever's collecting this stuff wasn't saving it for these individual little wing nutty parts. They had more stuff. There's definitely more missing stuff. Ooh, some Rubbermaid stuff, some clamps, some more old Diacomp, new old stock brake pads, which I've already got a bunch of them trying to sell. Here we are. Sell it. Throw it away. A vintage front skewer. Any point in saving it? There really is not. You know. Often I'll save this for the springs when you own a shop. People, every tire repair that came in, every tune-up was missing the springs, or the springs mangled, or whatever. There's a couple little bolts in here. They're nothing special. They don't fit anything. Some weird, cool cantilever brake bolt bosses off some cheap brakes, but I don't have any other parts, and I don't care. And the pièce de resistance, one crappy old Abner seat post clamp-on rack missing one bolt. So, mostly trash. It's a cool bolt. I should know what it's for. Yeah, that's it. Mostly trash. Never found the rest of those shifters. But all these rings and possibly that little shifter part is worth it. I'll definitely get my $40 back plus some, and have some crappy seats. Don't need this profile design single bar. Don't need this single Shimano Dura-Ace 600 crank that's been painted black. I don't think maybe anodized red at some point. So now just to go through this stuff, take these saddles off. I'll definitely put most of these rings right up on the flea bay. Hot, hot, hot. This is my straight to eBay box. I'm gonna double check this J42. Kind of into it. It's 144. I think I got it home. Yeah, man. Decide later. I'll put them in the bin for now. Definitely save this one. I got some scruffy Sagino cranks. This might look awesome on. Maybe I'll anodize strip it and polish them all. Like a psycho. God, where's your little missing parts? So much missing hardware. I hate it when people don't take care of their bike parts or hardware. But people love not taking care of their bike parts or hardware. Yeah, you're going straight to eBay. Well, that was my unboxing video. See my weird and cool and uncool and scrappy and say over 70% recycling video. But it's chain rings, man. So thanks for watching.